Well, that's enough of the quick news for now. Let's actually head over to one of our main subjects that we have tonight, and it's our first impression segment. We have been pushing this cartoon off for a while now, but we have to actually bring this cartoon up because it has been popular on Netflix, and I think some of you guys will probably love it because I've been hearing a lot of hype about it on Twitter and all social media. It is Jentry Chau versus the Underworld.
Yes.
All right, so this is our first impressions of Jentry Chau versus the Underworld. So the trailer. So the first shot of Jentry Chau versus the Underworld was the trailer that came out a couple months before the first episode dropped. What were your thoughts on the trailer when you saw that?
My thoughts were it looked lit. It was literally lit.
Oh, because of our fire?
Yes. When you look at the animation, when you look at the characters and how fluent they look, when you look at the fighting and choreography that comes with it, when you look at even the balance of comedy and drama, it makes for one hype series on Netflix.
I mean, like, it really looks great animation-wise. Because, like, from the way I kind of saw the character design, it maybe looked like... It kind of looks like, what was it? She-Ra? It kind of looks like She-Ra to me. And I do like the whole cultural representation that has been, like, shown in this cartoon. Because it's an Asian cultural representation, which is amazing. Because we don't really see a lot of Asian cultural representation cartoons out there in quite a while. So I'm just really happy that Netflix was able to pick this one up. And by the way, the people that even said the cast was also announced even in the trailer. Like, they had Ali Wong being Jentry. Then they have a bunch of other people that are also, like, in the cast. Bowen Yang is Ed. You had, like, a bunch of other, like, voice actors that are in there. And I didn't realize this too, but Kit apparently is a K-pop star. So how he ended up landing a role in a cartoon, that's saying something.
Yeah. I will say that the cast, it looks to be a diverse cast of Asian voice actors, and they really did give it their all in their performances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, look, if anything, like, it blew my mind, like, how the animation was. That was making me like them. I do like how the characters are with, like, Jentry, Stella, what was it, Kevin and Kit at the moment on who they are right now, because I don't know that's the main cast right now. But then there's another main cast that's also there as well. That was Gugu and Ed, but that was from the first couple episodes in the show. But no, if anything, like, from the trailer, it looked great. And then obviously we both watched the first 2 episodes of it. So now, again, we're doing our first impressions now. So let's go ahead and start straight to it. And let's actually talk about the story first. Because the story follows this Chinese-American teenager named Jentry Chau, who has to come to discover the fiery powers that she has suppressed for so long, that she moved from So she moves from Seoul. She moves from South Korea all the way to a small town in Texas. Wait. So, I don't think that's correct. She moved from Texas to Korea when she was young.
Yeah, no, when she was young. But now, in episode 1, we see her move back to Texas from Korea.
Yeah, she moved back to Texas from Korea. And the other thing, too, is, again, we'll discuss the story a little bit more there. A demon king is trying to hunt her down because her superpowers are very powerful, that he wants to possess them. So what do you thought of the premise so far with the story of, like, how Jentry Chau versus the Underworld is?
Yeah, how Jentry Chau versus the Underworld is it's very inventive of a story, and it's a kind of story that sort of reminds me of the 2000s cartoons, in which it's a teenage character learning to deal with their supernatural powers. Because it's
kind of like Danny Phantom.
It's sort of like Danny Phantom. It's sort of like My Life as a Teenage Robot. It's sort of like Juniper Lee, even though it's just fighting monsters. It sort of reminds me of the cartoons in that era, where it's a teenage character going through that kind of thing.
You know what kind of impresses me is the fact that, like, we don't get an origin story of how Jentry ended up getting those fire powers. Like, we just see her in the beginning of the show literally singing karaoke with her friends in Korea. And,
yeah, she had a.
And by the way, Blackpink is very popular. Like, that's the one thing that kind of got me into this show, is because, oh, you play Blackpink, I am freaking watching it.
Yeah, Blackpink is being exposed in modern cartoons. First Amphibia, now this. It goes to show how K-pop is being represented.
K-pop is very popular now.
it's being represented in modern cartoons. So I do like how modern animation is celebrating K-pop culture.
Yeah, I mean, well, K-pop is becoming really huge. Like after BTS started to get huge, now
Yeah,
everybody's loving all the K-pop stars to say.
they
So I'm really happy about them putting Blackpink, and also the person who sings the theme song. That's a K-pop group as well.
gotcha like a moth to a flame.
Yeah, Cat Eye. That's the
Yes.
group.
And by the way, we gotta talk about the opening as well as its song because that song blends together with the overall tone and the overall just excitement that gets you pumped up for the action of Gentry because the song gets you pumped up by how lively it is.
Well, it's supposed to be a K-pop song. The Flame song is definitely like one I can't stop listening to now.
Yeah. And it's a perfect song because of the lyrics, "Moth to a flame."
Because the flame, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, even the lyric "flame." I mean, yes, because she has fire powers. Yes.
Yeah, and it goes out of its way to emphasize that yes, this is a show about a girl with fire powers,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not just the opening, but the overall story of the show as well.
Yeah. Again, I don't know much when it comes to the story. The only thing is that we know is that Gentry has these fire powers. Gugu is the one that knows it a whole lot. What was it? There's a lot of secrets behind her family because Gugu is the one that pretty much showed her about her whole fire powers and stuff. Now she's got to do it by herself because I'm not gonna spoil again, but oof.
So without giving anything away, without giving away any spoilers, as I watched each of these 2 episodes, I was thinking, okay, this is the kind of show in which the story unravels itself. You're gonna see more.
I kind of wonder about it too
elements.
because like I remember when she moved back into Texas, they all talk about this demon girl, and apparently it's her. Like they know it's her. Even the freaking like principal in the second episode knows it's her.
Oh,
because
that vice principal Wheeler was definitely one big conspiracy theorist. Like,
Yeah.
he had this board with all these. Pins
So
and
again,
whatnot.
there's so many pinpoints from the first 2 episodes that make me think like, wait, what happened to her parents? Who are these ghosts? How are they familiar with Gugu? Who's Ed? And why is he helping Gentry now? How about her old friends in Texas? How are they still familiar with her? You know? Who about the demon girl? Let's talk about that story because that never got explained in the first 2 episodes. And I know it's gonna unravel eventually, but I'm just saying like, okay, now you may be all intrigued. Like I love how they continue to, build up to what the show is gonna be about. Like how the story is going to be there for you. It's just that we just giving you pieces. Now build it for yourself. Make you think. Make you have theories about how Jentry Chau versus the Underworld is gonna be.
Yeah, so it's one of those shows that in which the story and the lore is really just so rich that it definitely leaves you guessing, it leaves you wondering, and leaves you excited for more details to what's to come.
Literally after the second episode, it makes me think, oh God, what happened to her parents?
And that's another thing, that there's so much to explore when it comes to Gentry's parents. There's so much to explore when it comes to like everything that were introduced in the first episode.
I just remember like from the first episode, oh my God, I thought we were done. Like, okay, again, I do not want to put spoilers, but something did happen in the first episode where maybe tear up a little bit. But thankfully, she's still alive, quote unquote alive,
quote unquote. And you'll definitely see what we're talking about. But yes, the way they handle this character when it comes to their lifespan was definitely so unique, and it's definitely a unique way to play around this character.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Look, she's important. She's important. I don't want her like done already. I just want her to at least continue on with the show. Either way, anything else from the story that you want to bring up?
So what I like is that it's also Gentry coming to revisit her past after so long, because this was her childhood home in Texas.
Yes.
So we do see that later on in the second episode when she returns to Texas, about how things are, how the town was recovering after that huge fire that happened, according to her her conversations with her childhood friend Michaels, about how like he revealed to her everything that went down ever since that fire incident happened. So I like how they're giving such story to the setting of Texas as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that town is looking like after the whole demon girl incident. They're calling it a demon girl incident. It also happened like many years ago. It's apparently a tourist, makes it a tourist trap. And I'm like, you're serious? Because of a destructing thing that happened?
Yeah, but it would take so many years, I would imagine, to rebuild. So I'm glad they rebuild. And there are some interesting buildings in the Texas area that stood out to me. Not just the school that Gentry goes to, but there's also this one chicken place that Michaels works at, known as Mimi.
That reminds me of Buc-ee's.
Like Mimi's like the
I know, but it kind of reminds me of Buc-ee's, like the IRL Buc-ee's. You know, I don't know if you heard about Buc-ee's, but I remember it's very popular.
I don't think I've been, but
no, because it's all the way in down in the south. We never go down in the south.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, so it makes for some really funny comedy when Gentry and Gugu are eating at Mimi's, and then like Gugu goes like, "Oh, it's your birthday."
Oh yeah.
And then Gentry gets all embarrassed. And by the way, the worst time for Gentry to be dealing with the situation is when her birthday approaches, because she had to deal with this like all the events of episode 1. Her birthday was approaching, and she was about to spend time with her friends in Korea. So you got to feel for her.
I was kind of wondering how that'll go, because like I wonder how her friends are dealing with the fact that she's not there in Korea anymore. Because like that came out all of a sudden, you know.
And it makes it really upsetting that she had to leave her friends in Korea, because they looked to be a legit group. They were
having fun. They were having fun singing karaoke, and then like, what was it, Gentry having her 16th birthday? I would imagine her being 16 in Korea, it's got to be a fun event. They might do more stuff in Korea.
They were a legit squad. Like, they sang karaoke together. They were, and also they were watching this one anime together, or sharing their passion for that one anime together. They
weren't watching the anime together. They were literally
they weren't watching it.
They're about to.
They were about to. Like, they were anime fans together. They were about to have their own fun.
Yes.
And it left me feeling sorry for Gentry, because it was the worst time for her to be dealing with this fire stuff and demon stuff. It was the worst time because it was her birthday.
Right.
Imagine if that happened when you're in your birthday.
Of course.
Yeah.
But anyways, by the way, I think you kind of explained the first 2 episodes. I was like, wait a minute, we're kind of going deep already into the first 2 episodes.
Well, yeah, because it was our first impressions. We wanted to share what we saw in the first episodes.
Yeah, but I think you spoiled everybody. Anyways, let's move on to the characters, because the characters are the ones that kind of like pivot into the show. And obviously the first character we want to bring up is Jentry Chau, who was in Texas. Like, I'm seeing the whole timeline. She was in Texas. She was that, quote, demon girl that everyone's like being scared of. Then she moves to Korea, has a nice life over there with her Gugu, and then she moves back to Texas because apparently this one freaking demon wants to take her power, and they need to defeat him, or else it'd be death for Gentry. But then what impressed me for Gentry is that she's just a regular old teenager. She loves to like party with her friends. She loves K-pop. She loves doing karaoke, she loves anime, etc. There's a lot of things about Gentry that makes me think like, oh my god, she's a really lovable teenage girl. Your thoughts on Jentry Chau?
Jentry Chau is definitely a teenage girl protagonist that a teenager can definitely relate to, especially if you love karaoke and anime. And it goes back to what I was saying about, you got to feel bad for Gentry, not because she had to deal with this on her birthday, but also she had to deal with this at such a young age, which is 16. Like, she's barely an adult, and for her to deal with a life or death situation like this, I feel bad that she has to go through this. And even though she has the help of Gugu and Ed to help her go through this, it's still a life or death situation that is very, endangering for a teenage girl like that.
Well, yeah, it just stinks that she had to have these powers. Like, I mean, the fact that she still knows her powers and that she suppressed it for so long, ever since she moved back to Korea. She moved to Korea, and now she has to go back to Texas and has to unleash them again. And I'm like, oh, well, this is fun to do. She just never got herself into the situation, but she has to be in the situation, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it was so abrupt for her. But thankfully, Gentry, even though all these things were abrupt for her, I do admire that she's tried to be as patient as she can as she can possibly can, especially with her training with Gugu and Ed. She tries to learn to deal with her powers, try to control them.
Mhm.
And even though it's going to take a lot of practice, a lot of training, she is still learning. And we are confident that by the end of the episode, she'll already be a fire master.
Yeah, also another thing too, what is up with her style? Like every freaking episode I've been seeing, she just continues to change her clothes. And I'm like, okay, I like your style.
Yeah, I gotta give major bonus points to Jentry Chau,
And-
like this series, for not wearing the same clothes every
And
day.
another thing too, I mean, even though I watched the first episodes of the show, I swear to God, every boy she sees, she falls into. What the freak is up with her?
Yes, and there are two.
I get it. Her hormones is probably popping up right now, and I'm like, I get it. You like him. He was your childhood friend. Oh, you like this new kid that just came into your life because she rescued you, and then you just started blushing in front of his face. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Every freaking girl, every freaking guy that Jentry has been been seeing with, she's just in love and stuff like that. I'm like, my God, girl, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's teenage girl love. Like it's very natural for a teenage girl to go through this phase. And speaking of boys, we're gonna talk about the main two boys that Jentry does fall in love with.
Well-
one is, of course, Michael, Gentry's childhood friend, and then you got Kit, a boy that Gentry has a
Okay.
crush on.
Okay, for Michael, by the way, like I've not seen much facts about him. I know that he's a sports guy, and I know that both of them did hang out. They were childhood friends and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I do love their whole reunion, by the way, like because both of them looked like they had a thing going on because they were childhood friends and stuff, but there wasn't really much facts about him. The only thing I know about Michael is that he has a girlfriend, and it's Stella. So I thought it was awkward, by the way, when I saw those three together, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, Gentry.
Yeah, based on what we know from these two episodes, we just know that Michael and Gentry are childhood friends, and Michael was the one that was explaining to Gentry what went on shortly after the fire incident took place in the town years ago.
Yeah.
And that's really all. But there were these cute moments with Michael and Gentry where they were like, oh, and this is where Gentry went down the
Okay,
slide.
yeah, I get it. It's the whole freaking thing. Yes, we get it. But again, we're only talking about the character. We're not talking about everything that happened with the character. All right? Yeah. So Michael, again, what I'm seeing from him is that he's just a football player to me. He's just a jock. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But although the other guy, Kit, is surprising me a little bit. Because he just popped out of nowhere. He just rescued Gentry. Cool. And that's it. I'm like, okay, I guess he's a cute guy. He's a K-pop, he's a Korean guy. Cool. Again, from the first two episodes, there's nothing much that impressed me.
Yeah, for the first two episodes, he just stands out as just the boy that Gentry has a crush on. That's it.
Yeah, and I can totally see. I mean, Gentry freaking loves boys, I guess. Again, her hormones was going all over the place.
What teenage girl doesn't love boys?
Right? Oh, and also Stella. Like, she was her first best friend in Texas, by the way. Like, she was the one that actually provided Gentry, like, what's going on around the school here and there. And look, it was because of her that she started making more friends over in that, that high school that she now got herself into. So, if anything, I think we should give props out to Stella, too, because she actually helps out Gentry a whole lot, trying to get herself socialized, get herself situated into that new high school that she was in.
Yeah, so what we ask from the show is that we do hope that the show fleshes out the high school characters other than Gentry, like Michael, Stella, and Kit. And add more layers to them.
Well, another character I also want to bring up is the principal or the vice principal of the school. The whole thing is that she obviously he's so weird. Like, he's such a conspiracy theorist person. Like, he was literally trying to pinpoint who the demon girl is. We have our answer from episode 2, by the way. But how do you feel about him? Because he's like one of those weirdos, He's kind of like Dizzle Crocker with fairies,
Vice Principal Wheeler stands out as the most interesting character in that River Fork High because of how immediately they gave him an eccentric, wacky personality, being a conspiracy theorist. I feel like the voice actor has a fun job voicing the character. Already they got his personality down to a T. Already he's suspicious. I feel like Vice Principal Wheeler, just like from the moment he shows up, he already steals the show in River Fork High, or at least one of them.
either I don't know. He's something, by the way. Like I mean, he's not gonna be one of my favorites. I'm just mostly relying on Gentry, Stella. The whole high school squad. Like, what was it Kit, Michael, Stella? I think those guys, those squad is gonna be like the one focus I would be looking for. I mean, eventually those guys are probably gonna be like fighting demons and stuff because Gentry will probably tell them secrets or something like that. That's my prediction. The other two characters who are also main characters of the show, Gugu and Ed. But let's talk about Gugu first because she was the one who has helped Gentry try to find her fire powers back.
Yeah, she was even the one that summoned Gentry to go back to Texas so that she can train her.
Well, because the whole thing about the curse and stuff, right? Because,
the whole thing about the curse.
Yeah, because like I don't know what happened, what Gugu did, but apparently once Gentry hit 16, that the whole Mr. Chang guy can be able to take her powers or something, and of course Gugu doesn't want that to happen, so it's that's why the whole fight happened in episode 1.
Yeah, so the fight in episode 1 was just the beginning out of many fights to come, but needless to say, Gugu is going to play a central role in Gentry's character development.
If anything, I do love the fact that Gugu does help Gentry out in more ways than one. She's helping her out through like so many situations. I know in episode 2 there was a moment where Gentry, like, what was it, needed help, and Ed and Gugu were there to help him out, which it just tells me like, look, Gugu's gonna be so big. She's gonna be so big in this show. So just keep focusing on her, considering that she was going to help Gentry, but at the same time, wonder why she made that deal with Mr. Chang in the first place.
Yeah, so it goes back to what I was saying about the story unraveling itself, and about how it's going to explore more of these characters.
And then last but not least, Ed. Voiced by Bowen Yang, by the way, great guy, from SNL, and he's a very funny guy himself. He was also in Wicked, by the way, just a little heads up there for those folks who don't know about Bowen Yang. He's a great guy.
Yes.
But he's a Jiangshi, who serves as Gentry's sidekick because, well, first off, he was about to kill Gentry or something. Like, from the first episode, you're thinking like he was going to be the enemy or something, but he starts to warm up with the family, and I'm like, cool, but I just hope Mr. Chang doesn't know.
Yeah, so Ed in this show, from what we've seen in the first 2 episodes, is what we call like the goofy sidekick to the main character. Like he's there as the comic relief of the show, based on his personality and how he's the short, funny guy that tries to be intimidating, but he ends up being adorable each and every time. So I gotta laugh at him.
You know what though? He's supposed to be the funny guy. I mean, Bowen Yang is really funny, and I think they put a perfect person to voice Ed. Because he's like a short guy, he's really funny, like he's trying to be comedic here and there, trying to be sarcastic and stuff. I think Bowen did a really good job voicing him, because like I'm feeling like how he's just so silly and how he's like a really funny like little Jiangshi. So I do like that. I think that if anything, Ed, I think is one of my favorites from the whole entire show at the moment, next to Gentry. But yeah, again, we only saw him like, what was it? Be a part of the team, then escapes, then tries to be a part of the team again. I don't know what his role is coming for those first 2 episodes, but something tells me that those 2 are going to partner up and try to do what they can to make sure that Mr. Chang is dead or something.
Yeah, because Mr. Chang is the big scary threat. After all, it's been mentioned over and over again in the first 2 episodes that yes, Mr. Chang is the one coming after you. So therefore, we have to take it back to train you.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, every character from the show has impressed me. Like I think every character that we mentioned here will provide a big role. I don't know about the vice principal, honestly. I feel like he'll just be like a sidekick who'll probably die in a freaking like 12th episode. But everybody else is going to be huge. Stella, Kit, and Michael are going to help Gentry out. I have a feeling those are going to be the squad. And then also the intro. Like, if you see the intro, what is Michael's powers? Because he has something in his eyes. And you see Kit, who is like, what is his secret too? Like, you see in the intro, like, oh god, he has purple eyes. Michael has purple eyes. Kit, oh, does he have wings? See, I'm just saying, like, there are big secrets from those characters that we just saw. Like, what are they? Who are they? Like, yeah, give me answers, guys.
And that's why the intro is very well done, because there's these hints, there's these certain features of these characters that you see in the intro that leaves you guessing as to what they are. It leaves you guessing as to what's going to be revealed about them.
Right. But then again, like, it is only a matter of time before we get to see like what their secrets are. But hopefully this helps Gentry. And then last but not least, I think the one thing we want to bring up is the animation. It's just absolutely flawless. Again, it's animated really well. It looks really great. And I've been a fan of like how the animation goes. Like the character designs are awesome. The whole fight scenes have been great. It ain't no blocky like bad animation or anything here and there. Like I am like locked into like how the fight scenes are, how Gentry gets her powers and stuff like that. I think they know how to make a great cartoon, and it shows from those first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah, like the animation in Jentry Chau is very impressive, and it's very fluent in the way the characters move, the way they talk, and especially the fighting scenes. Like you said, they are the pinnacle of the animation Gentry. Especially when you see the fire powers, especially when you see the fighting moves, just everything about Jentry Chau screams lit.
Yeah, I mean, she is fire.
Yeah, so yes, you're definitely on point about Jentry Chau animation being as stellar as it is, especially with the fighting scenes.
Yeah, so you agree with me too that the animation's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So from the first 2 episodes, what were your impressions on them?
My first impressions are, I want to see more of this. When at the moment I saw the first 2 episodes, it leaves me wanting more and more, because there's more story to unravel. There's more of these characters that need to be fleshed out. There's more of this amazing animation, especially fighting scenes that we're going to see with these episodes. Everything about it.
I have a feeling if I continue watching this show, there's going to be more things that are going to be revealed. I'm liking how the show is at the moment. Like everything from the show is just absolutely blows my mind. I'm gonna be honest, the first episode was kind of fast a little bit, but it slowed down in the second episode, where we get to see her live a life in Texas, meeting up with friends, meeting up with new people, trying to figure out how this whole story is when it comes to like why is everybody going for Gentry? Why did she open a path to the Underworld? And the whole fact about the Underworld now going to get her or something like that. That's the thing about the whole Jentry Chau versus the Underworld, because she's the one who's supposed to like lock up the Underworld and make sure that no other demon can be able to get her power and stuff like that. So I'm absolutely focused on it. I can't wait to see more episodes of this. I don't know how they're going to be continuing on with it, but yes, it is a series that I am going to be definitely watching as we continue on with the show. But yeah, Jentry Chau versus the Underworld has been impressive so far.
Yes, it really has, and it's. Like I said, it's one of those shows that I will immediately put on the watch list and watch more of it. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to bring up to end our first impression segment?
Yes. I just want to say that I really hope that Jentry Chau does really well up to point where hopefully it'll get a second season. Who knows? I just hope that we get more of this.
You know what? With all the hype, with all the popularity that it has, I'm thinking there will be a second season. I will not say 3 or 4 seasons, okay? I'm not going to be like a Has Been Hotel here. But something tells me they will probably have a second season. And who knows how the story will go. Like, again, I have to keep on watching the show. But this is it is already popular as it is. It has been getting a lot of positive reviews that tells me that Netflix understands that they need to bring up another season for the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I do want to see Gentry contacting her friends back in Korea at some point in this show.
I hope so too. I hope so too, because like, you know, they can't miss out on who Gentry is.
Yeah, because they played an integral role in Gentry's life in Korea in terms of her friendships.
Right, exactly. And there's just too much to explain here. I don't want to go too long here. I'm just saying we're only going for first impressions here, and again, we're pretty much put a consensus that it's been an awesome show so far.
Yeah, we can't wait for more.